This is breaking news.
You understand? We will do that. Okay, everybody, as soon as Santos comes out, get your cameras out, but then walk out.
I'll make this quick.
We've been here a few times already with him. We know.
My name is Sabina Margolis, and I am part of the Deceive Nation project because our county is under threat. And it's not from the outsiders, it's from politicians gone rogue in our county. Such is the case for Bruce Blakeman and his really crazy idea of a militia. He's pushing this dangerous illegal plan and is only accountable to him, and with what funds. It's not really, it's public funds. It's not something that we agree to. See, he calls it public safety, and let's be honest, it's public danger. It's a year later, and we still don't know who picks them, what training they'll get, what weapons they carry, what costs us, and who are they in the first place. And it's no surprise that many of the FOIL requests we've made have gone ignored. No answers, no plan, no interest in serving the community. This isn't safety, it's a power grab. With Santos, we started to observe how lying got out of hand. It was just continuous lying. But it doesn't stop there, as we were saying. That's why we launched Deceive Nation. We, the people, are now amplifiers. We are the resistance, and we are just getting started. By November 4th, every voter in Nassau County should know the truth. Blakeman, you're lying. We don't buy your distraction, we don't buy your distortion, we don't buy your disinformation. We demand disband the illegal militia, fix the broken property tax assessment system, protect our environment, revitalize our downtowns, lower our taxes. Our county executive doesn't need a militia. He needs a wake-up call, and we are it.
Yes, we are. Yay, Sabina! And Sabina is one of a small army of people who have created, all volunteers who've created the DeceiveNation.com project. Emily from Plainview.
Yes.
Woo! Emily Raphael. Right?
Yes, or Raphael. Hi, I've been a member of Concerned Citizens of New York since January of 2023, and at that time, Santos was sort of a big unfunny joke, and I hope he goes back into obscurity after all this. I'd imagine it's hard to film cameos from the pokey. But we have to think not about the specifics of his case, about the Botox and the Hermes scarves and the stolen money for a dying dog and on, but how important vigilance is. As nice as it is that a small group of people made enough of a fuss to help get this disgrace out of office, the work is hardly over. We need to keep working and keep an eye on the government. It's been very eye-opening to see just how easily people can get away with lies and distortions if no one questions and corrects them, and that's what Deceive Nation aims to do. Thanks.
That's great. Thank you, Emily. Okay, now we're going to hear from Kim Kaiserman from Port Washington.
Thank you, Jody. My name is Kim Kaiserman, and I'm a member of the good government group Concerned Citizens of New York 03. In December 2022, I was stunned to learn that my member of Congress had gotten elected by creating a false persona to trick people into voting for him. Pretty quickly, it became apparent that George Santos was a total fraud whose lies were as brazen and offensive as they were numerous, and that he was not a person who would ever be able to represent my community. I was outraged. So I joined with a group of volunteers who became Concerned Citizens of New York 03, and we got to work on a grassroots campaign to force Santos's ouster from Congress. It seems incredible now, but in the early days, we actually thought our local Republican officials might join our effort, but they were completely uninterested. We thought the other members of Long Island's congressional delegation might speak up for us, but they gave us minimal lip service and then fell silent. And we thought our work would be done in a matter of weeks, but it took 11 months. For those 11 months, 770,000 Americans were deprived of the representation and advocacy that every single one of us should be able to expect in our representative democracy. Instead, we were treated to continued lies and ugly publicity stunts by George Santos and stonewalling by his Republican allies. The day in December 2023 when George Santos was expelled from Congress was the day those 770,000 people finally got relief. And today, nearly 18 months later, is the day we finally get justice. Don't get me wrong, this is not a happy day. A man is going to prison, but it's an important and necessary day. It's also an appropriate day to reflect on the lessons of George Santos. How was an obvious con man nominated, elected, and allowed to stay in office for 11 months? Trying to find the answer has been like turning over a rock and finding a rotten culture of lying underneath. The truth is that George Santos emerged from the culture of lying, he was protected by it, and he leaves it with us even as he goes off to jail. He is just one example of the way lying is corroding our democracy. An extreme and over-the-top example, but one example nevertheless. When a win-at-all-costs mentality governs a political movement, lies become commonplace and accepted as normal. Here on Long Island, the Nassau County GOP is a flagrant purveyor of lies, nominating candidates who lie frequently, both on the campaign trail and in public office. I have firsthand experience with this. When I ran for state senate in the last cycle, I was targeted by a deluge of baseless claims and outlandish falsehoods. I saw with frustrating clarity the way disinformation is polluting our local politics. And I realized with great alarm that our local press is no longer fact-checking politicians with regularity. So while Santos's sentence may give 770,000 people a measure of closure or a measure of justice, it does not give us closure. What would give us closure? Not just a few years in prison, but the restoration of a few truths in our public life. First, character matters. Second, standards of ethics, honesty, and transparency must be bipartisan. And finally, accountability is integral to democracy. And with changes in our information ecosystem, we need new ways of holding liars accountable. So that brings me to the future of this wonderful group of truth tellers, concerned citizens of New York 03. At first, we thought our work would end when George Santos was expelled, but it quickly became clear that we had much more to do in this fight against the culture of lying. As a grassroots group, we came up with a grassroots solution, the Deceive Nation Project, which will foster a network of volunteers who are committed to pushing back against propaganda, disinformation, and fear-mongering. This network will use the emerging information ecosystem to differentiate truth from lies and bring transparency, honesty, integrity, and accountability to our political discourse. We're proud to introduce this project today. We invite you to look at our website, our social media, and we encourage you to join us in fighting the culture of lying and restoring truth to our public life. Thank you very much.
Now, we're going to hear from one more person, very short, Vasu Krishnamurthy, and he is from Manhasset. So we have people from all over New York 03.
Take a minute, 1 minute. Yeah, I know, again. Sorry. One mic. Doing the best I can.
That will be out of your way.
Good afternoon. My name is Vasu Krishnamurthy. I'm a resident of Manhasset, which is, as you know, part of New York District, Congressional District 3. It has been a long journey to see justice served to George Santos, but we are not relieved today. We are only comforted by it because Santos is an aberration. His buffoonery was so extreme that it could not be ignored or sane-washed. But we see all around us unprecedented damage done through lies, deceit, and misdirection by Trump and on down to his local cronies, Bruce Blakeman and Jen DeSena. Possibly.
Let's go.
Okay. Am I continuing or?
Yeah, there you go. No. Hey, buddy. Down in front. I know. Good job. Good job. I know, right? Down in front. I'd like to. Okay. Mr. Martin, hang on a second, please.
Okay.
Yes, again.
The speakers are going to come out shortly. I'm going to go in and bring them out, but I just want to give you the order of speakers.
All right. Stand like in front of those guys, and I'll just go.
I just want to go over the order of speakers with you, okay? The first speaker is going to be the United States Attorney, John Durham.
Okay. Ready, set.
D-U-R-H-A-M. The second speaker is going to be the FBI Assistant Director in Charge, Christopher Raya, R-A-I-A. The third speaker is going to be the Assistant Special Agent in Charge, Internal Revenue Service, Scott D'Alessandro, D-A-L-E-S-S-A-N-D-R-O. And then the last speaker will be the Nassau County District Attorney, Ann Donnelly. Okay? I'm going to go inside. I'll go inside and bring them out. Are you all ready?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to go in and bring them out.
Or litigation attorneys. They have mastered the tools of deception in order to get what they want. But the Santos case illustrates that the truth can be brought to light, and when it is exposed, people get angry and take action. fighting back to the quality of our lives and safeguard our liberty. We will document every lie and every corruption and ensure that our citizens know about it. Please visit the
I told them not to put the mics there. They're gonna get smacked on, I think. Oh wow, you know, I tried to.
So nobody's speaking at this, right? So let's at least lower it.
I think that can go away entirely. Yeah.
Right?
I know. Are they going to that one? This one?
Oh, they're definitely gonna.
No, they're going to go to the. They're going to go to the.
You don't and
No, that was in case.
this was the
Santos.
Oh,
Very
impressive.
Yeah. All right, freeze. 1, 2, 1.
Oh, no, you're gonna Spectrum, you're gonna move again? No, move it?
Nowhere to move anymore. Thank you. Can someone do a mic check up there?
Can't have that there.
Mic check, mic
Can't
check.
have that there because they're gonna put a binder.
They're
So
gonna
you're
put a
gonna,
binder?
yeah, they're gonna put a binder
All
there.
right, well, put it. How about right there?
Yep, that's cool.
All right, that works.
I am not a crook.
Oh, he's gonna read
do
from
that?
this?
Yeah, you see the it's good literature.
Is it invisible ink?
It's press proof.
Count to 10.
1,
2, 3, 4, 5.
2, 3.
1. You're a very good counter.
I don't know how you're doing this yourself.
I know,
not
it's
easy.
a lot. It's all right.
What, the two guys? They were like supporters. He was, I think he killed his dog or. No, but he was good. He had good sound. I just want to let you know that besides what's going on at the podium, you have him coming in today. You have him coming out from the tripod far away, so I couldn't break down. And I got him. Going in. No, I got him coming out. Really good. Yes. Yeah, I'll get that date for you. Daisy, what date is he coming back? 25, July. Turn himself in here? Right, yeah. No. So there's one more group of people.
And that's the prosecutor, right? The prosecutor? Yeah. They got every last minute you there. jail, they decide that's where he goes.
What do we got here? This roof,
They could just go up like that.
Yeah. Oh, they jump like her.
I think that might be alright. He's taller. Yeah, I think it might. How do you do this? You just go like this? Gotcha. I mean, this shouldn't blow.
If he wants to move it down, he can move it down.
I can't.
Oh.
I mean, he's pretty tall, so he should.
oh, okay. The white, carrying white. Yep. The guy holding the envelope. Yeah, but I'm working my Slavic swap. Down. Hey, come on.
Oh, you're so sad. I was with you. Oh, I'm here now. Okay. I didn't look earlier. Sorry.
Good. All right. Good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
I'm John Durham. I'm the United States Attorney for the Eastern District of New York. With me today is Christopher Rea. He's the Assistant Director in charge of New York's FBI. Scott D'Alessandro. He's an Assistant Special Agent in charge of the IRS New York Field Office. And District Attorney Ann Donnelly. I want to thank you all for being here, and I want to thank you for your partnership. So a short time ago in the courthouse behind me, former Congressman George Santos was sentenced to just over 7 years in federal prison. He was also ordered to pay more than $370,000 in restitution and forfeit more than $200,000. And that restitution will go to his victims. Now, 8 months ago, Santos appeared in this same courthouse and he pled guilty. Pled guilty to wire fraud and aggravated identity theft. He admitted to engaging in a brazen crime spree that took place over a period of years. He stole personal identities and financial information of campaign contributors, made unauthorized transfers of money to his campaign and to himself personally. He defrauded prospective political supporters by convincing them to make campaign contributions based on false statements, and then he took the money for himself. He lied to receive unemployment benefits when he was not entitled to them because he had a job. He lied to the Federal Election Commission about the amount of money his campaign had brought in, and he used that to trick the National Republican Congressional Committee into giving his campaign money it was not entitled to. And he lied to Congress on his financial disclosure forms. From the moment he declared his candidacy for Congress, Santos leveraged his campaign for his own enrichment and financial benefit. He did this by targeting specific supporters and constituents. He saw them as easy marks, and he made them victims of his fraud. Santos's victims were real people, and they suffered real losses. He went so far as to seek out elderly people who suffered from cognitive impairment and dementia. Santos's blatant corruption is an affront to our electoral process, our representative government, and the people of New York's 3rd Congressional District. But today, and finally, Santos has been held accountable for his years of fraud, deceit, and theft. He's going to federal prison, and he's going to be punished for his staggering fraud, the abuses he put on our electoral process, for mocking our democratic institutions, and most importantly, for betraying and defrauding his supporters, his voters, his donors, federal agencies, state agencies. Today's sentence demonstrates that this egregious conduct will not and never will be tolerated. Now, Santos has been held accountable thanks to the tireless efforts of prosecutors from the Department of Justice and investigators from the FBI, IRS, and Nassau District Attorney's Office. I want to commend several people in particular. Assistant United States Attorneys Ryan Harris, Anthony Bagnola, and Laura Zuckerwise, paralegal specialists Rachel Friedman and Denora Roscoe from this office, trial attorney John Taddy from the Department of Justice Public Integrity Section, special agents Katrina Laparuta and Ken Hosey, and intelligence analyst Julianne Wolf from the FBI, Nassau County District Attorney's Office Detective Investigator Gavin Shea, and IRS Special Agent Samantha Keldeck. I'm not done. In conclusion, I want to assure the public and all of you that came out today that your faith in the government, in our criminal justice system, is warranted. Santos' disgraceful and greedy conduct has been exposed, and at last he's been brought to justice. And that same fate awaits those in public service at any level, state, local, or federal, who abuse their positions, and serve themselves and not the people they represent. Officials who lie and steal and defraud will find themselves in a courtroom, and they will learn, as George Santos has, that there's a serious price to pay for corrupt behavior. No one is above the law. So with that, I'm going to turn things over to FBI Assistant Director in Charge, Christopher Rea.
New York 03 thanks you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Good afternoon. My name is Christopher Rea. I'm the Assistant Director in charge of our New York office. Today, former United States Congressman George Santos was held accountable for his repeated criminal dishonesty, financing his election campaign with ill-obtained funds, stealing COVID unemployment benefits, and providing materially false information in his financial disclosure. Santos abused his authority to garner illicit donations and campaign support, ultimately betraying the public's trust and violating our democratic systems. May today's sentencing emphasize the FBI's continued commitment to dismantling any fraudulent scheme designed to unlawfully benefit those in positions of power. Today would not have been possible without the tireless dedication of the FBI New York headquarters city, the Public Corruption Squad, and the squad located right here at our Long Island resident agency. I would also like to thank the Eastern District of New York's acting U.S. Attorney John Durham and his prosecutorial team, who did a phenomenal job with this case. Additionally, I want to extend my appreciation to the Department of Justice Public Integrity Section, IRS Criminal Investigative Division, Department of Labor's Office of Inspector General, and the Nassau County District Attorney's Office. The collective efforts across all agencies ensure justice was delivered today. I'll now turn it over to ASAC D'Alessandro from IRS.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Scott D'Alessandro. I am an Assistant Special Agent in charge with IRS Criminal Investigation here in the New York Field Office. I would like to begin by thanking the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of New York, John Durham, for hosting today's press conference and also for overseeing this important investigation through to its conclusion today. I would also like to thank the FBI's New York Field Office as well as the Nassau County District Attorney's Office for their incredible work on this case. Special agents from IRS-CI specialize in following the movement of illicit funds. This is exactly what the agent on this investigation did, tirelessly combing through financial records to determine how funds were spent. It became evident that Santos used his position as an elected official and public servant to conduct criminal activity. While U.S. campaign finance laws are designed to promote transparency in our electoral process, Santos willfully participated in a scheme to defraud not just his supporters, but also the United States government. This type of financial fraud is not a victimless crime. The American people, his constituents, his co-members in Congress, as well as his supporters and donors, are all victims in this case. These are individuals that place their trust in Santos to not only represent them, but to utilize their donations in accordance with the law. Santos instead used these donations for his own personal enrichment. Today's sentencing means that Santos will now experience the full cost of his deception. IRS Criminal Investigation will continue to work with our law enforcement partners and the U.S. Attorney's Office to investigate anyone who seeks to defraud or abuse the American financial system or the public for their own gain. While the agents at IRS-CI have known since our inception 100 years ago, is that the money trail will not lie. I now pass the podium over to Nassau County District Attorney Ann Donnelly. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Ann Donnelly, the Nassau County District Attorney. I want to thank U.S. Attorney John Durham, the members of the FBI and the IRS who joined with us today. It is because of our continued partnership together, working together, that we were able to get the conclusion today that we did. And what a conclusion it is. George Santos spent his brief career in public service conning donors, misleading his constituents, and defrauding the government. He told lie after lie until it caught up with him, until we caught up with him, and exposed him for what he truly was, an opportunist and a fraud. And come July 25th, George Santos will finally be where he belongs, behind bars, answering for these crimes. George Santos was the polar opposite of what a public servant should be. He is without integrity, unconcerned with his constituents, and self-interested in every way. Designer clothes were more important to him than following the rule of law. Luxury more important to him than the oath he took to serve his country and the people who elected him. He had a responsibility to those people. They counted on him to deliver for them. Instead, they got an empty man in an empty designer suit, financed by fraud. A man who to this day is not truly remorseful for his actions. A man who failed the people of Nassau County, the people who trusted and relied on him. When I announced that I wanted to begin an investigation into George Santos, the Eastern District U.S. Attorney approached me and said they would like to work this investigation together. And we did. And it's that partnership that led us to today. The prosecutors in the U.S. Attorney's Office, the investigators at the FBI and in my office, and the IRS did tremendous work to ensure that George Santos was held accountable for all his lies. Together, we will continue that important work, rooting out public corruption, protecting our communities, and upholding the standard of integrity we expect our elected officials to meet. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
All of you have said that you're going to continue these public corruption investigations.
Thank you, everybody.
May I ask, haven't the IRS and the FBI officers been great to investigate?
Will Santos have to serve all 87 months?
I'll go together.
Will he have to serve all 87 months?
See you, Brandon. Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. Hopefully, see you around. Not for something like this.
Oh, yeah. I'm surprised you guys are in Suffolk County.
Yeah.
Well, it's your guy.
That's
So
he's our man. He's our man.
Yeah. You too. I'm sure I'll see you guys around. I saw you the other week, so yeah.
True.
Yeah. So,
I look forward to reading your
yeah,
byline.
I was hoping to see you in that crazy pirate food guy.
Dude. That was just.
Yeah.
When I saw your thing, I was like, I'm so sorry they had to drive me up that. It's like, oh, you need to talk to him once. Like, oh, bro, that guy was excellent. He was all over the place. Crazy. Wow. Bro, when I saw it, he got crushed so bad on that election. 1,000 votes.
Yeah. And the year before, they had like 100 people that voted in total.
Yeah.
They had like
Literally. We're running inside. We got all our stuff in there. Yeah, man. Great to see you.
Is it live?
Yeah, we're ready.
Good afternoon. We're outside Central Islip Federal Court where we just heard from the prosecutors involved in the George Santos case. A victory lap of sorts, but also a warning, their hope that his 87-month sentence in federal prison will send a message. We heard from the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District. We heard from the FBI, from the IRS, and from the Nassau County District Attorney. This was a combined effort over a couple of years, and in the end, they found George Santos had committed 5 different criminal schemes. But first, let me just give you the lay of the land here a little bit so you see what's going on. A tremendous amount of news media, as this is the culmination of a case that, of course, made headlines across the nation. One of the most bizarre cases in congressional history. George Santos lied his way into Congress, and today he learned the cost of those lies will be 87 months in prison. It's more than 7 years, 7 1/3 years. It's the full sentence recommended by prosecutors who said that anything short of that would not capture the depth of his deceptions. He was a professional fraudster, they said, and he arrived this morning and left without any comment to reporters, not his usual colorful self, usually a little snarky as he walks in and out of court. None of that. He was very somber, glum. He had eyes were red. It looked like he had been crying. And in court, actually, there were tears as he addressed the judge. And I'll read a little bit to you of what he told the judge. He read from notes. He had also written to the judge, but this was really stated through tears. He said that he is humbled. He has shattered the faith of so many. He takes full responsibility. He betrayed his supporters and the institutions that he was sworn to serve. He said that he cannot rewrite the past, but he did ask for a balanced sentence. And he had called the 7-year proposed sentence at that point absurd. He said he can still contribute positively to the community that he wronged. But the judge, Joanna Seibert, was having none of it. She essentially threw the book at Santos, disregarding or dismissing his argument that he was not the leader of any of these crime schemes. He, in fact, blamed it on Nancy Marks, who had also been charged with criminal conduct and has pled guilty, his campaign treasurer, that he, in fact, was not the leader. She was. In the end, the judge sided with the prosecution, that it was his campaign, he was the leader, and sentenced him to 87 months in federal prison. He will have to turn himself in July, so he has now several months to get his affairs in order. It was also revealed in court today that he has made hundreds of thousands of dollars through cameo appearances, more than $300,000. He's also made $200,000 in selling his rights to his life story to a documentary, but that he's paid none of that back to his victims in restitution yet. The government said that he has 21 people are direct victims of his fraud, including some seniors and people with dementia who he stole credit card information from. He has 21 victims, but they said that the largest victims are members of the public who he defrauded. And there are many members here of New York 3, the congressional district, and they said that they were grateful to prosecutors for bringing this to justice. So we're still outside court in Central Islip, just wrapping up. As prosecutors have finished their remarks, Santos left without any comment and has a few months until he begins his 87-month federal sentence. Reporting from Central Islip, Long Island, Carolyn Gussoff, CBS News, New York.
This has been breaking news.